You're asking yourself about your sweetheart, your special someone. What's actually going on there? To you, it all seems like there's a huge question mark. Maybe you're in contact, or maybe right now you're not. Maybe it's a friends with benefits situation. And sometimes there's this spark, something really special. And in the next moment, it's as if the book is closed again and everything is the complete opposite. And for you, it's a huge question mark. You can't make sense of it. And it's actually driving you crazy because you no longer know where you stand or what's really going on inside him. You either don't want to or can't ask him because he's so closed off. But somehow you sense yes, there's this magic, and in the next moment, no magic at all. Let's take a look at that now. Dear ones, a very warm and loving hello, a big hug to you all, and a huge thank you for your presence, for simply being here. And thank you again for your wonderfully kind comments. I appreciate them more than words can say. And now I would say, let's go. Let's see what's really going on inside him or her. So let's take a look at what's going on. Why this strange behavior? All right. We have the stars. So your beloved is in a phase where they're actually searching for fulfillment. And when they're in contact with you, or when they reconnect with you, dear ones, you know, we're talking about the collective here. Person cards are gender neutral, and a collective reading cannot resonate with everyone or cover every single detail 100%. If you are in contact or reconnect, everything is actually fine. And that's where the happiness is. That's where the feelings of joy and fulfillment are. That's when he feels this sense of well-being, this completeness. But what he still lacks is clarity. He is on the path to clarity. At that moment, everything is actually very clear to him. But something is also lying dormant here because he keeps pulling himself back again and again. And that's what we're going to look into. But that's the important moment between the two of you. You give him good feelings. That's your energy that he takes in, that he feels, and that he keeps coming back to, at least in part. So, but then we also have the snake in play, and that's where these entanglements come in again. It could be that there's another person involved. It could be another woman, another man. It could be family. It could be friends. There are always some kinds of entanglements coming up, you know, this constant change. We're still on the question, why is there always this back and forth? What's going on there? You feel something when you have contact or when you get back in touch. There's that moment of happy feelings. Everything fits. And then in the next moment, something comes up again and the entanglements return. And for him, everything then becomes so complicated. And, well, that clearly has a lot to do with his environment. He twists and turns back and forth, you know, and he doesn't really know how he wants to get into it. And that's where he's still a bit stuck, this clarity. Actually, it's clear for him. But then this off comes up again, you know. His situation, what exactly his situation is, we'll definitely take a closer look at that. And as you know, we always go really deep here. So, and now we have the Tower. Yes, so he's withdrawing. That's being shown to you again. We definitely keep seeing this withdrawal because he or she is not doing well. And it's like he himself is in a kind of little prison, like a hamster wheel prison garden, I would say. And that's the thing. He doesn't know how to get out of it. He keeps withdrawing into this isolation. He isolates himself, not just with you, by the way, whenever he withdraws. And here, other issues are also being shown, which may be have to do with work and authority, something like that in this area. There are really entanglements for him, which is also the reason for this back and forth. And he feels kind of trapped there, but also within himself. It's his own issue, the conflict that he or she is stuck in. And the conflict, as I said, is about wriggling out of it. You know, this complicated situation, but in the whole combination, especially with this starting card, you can already see this renewal because something is happening. We see movement here in your loved one's inner world. Because, as I said, yes, the area, you, feelings of happiness, everything is so great. Everything is clear. Everything fits perfectly there. And then, again, his situation. And yes, the renewal. Let's see what exactly is still here, and above all, what this is really about. Yes. The doubts about a change. I actually see him completely weighed down. We keep seeing stagnation, withdrawal, stagnation. That is his or her sadness, this disappointment. He knows he made the wrong decisions in the past. Maybe he went in a different direction, turned away from love, moved away from you. It's like he ran away. Major issues for him, his problems, his entanglements. We can see it here very clearly again. We have authorities, government offices. We see the outside world here. There are very significant issues with him or her. Maybe you know a little bit about it. Basically, he actually wants to keep all of this somewhat secret again and again. But you notice it. He himself has fears, worries, and that's also an issue. There are fears and worries here. First of all, we have entanglements. So something is going on here. Maybe something broke that now requires more money, right? Or maybe he somehow misjudged something or miscalculated. I see these wrong decisions lying here. And it's like one bill after another comes in, or something else from the authorities. This and that and that. Boom, like a blow. He really doesn't even know how he's supposed to get out of this anymore. I sense this heaviness. I sense this standstill. And in any case, there are also other people, his environment. He knows he also treated you wrongly. And that's what weighs heavily on him, where this disappointment comes from, because he knows he disappointed you. And in the moments when you have contact, that's when the happiness is there. That's when he feels good. Your energy. He really absorbs your energy strongly. It's like a planet jumper. He's on the planet. When you have contact, whether it's in person or when you get back in touch, because I clearly see contact between you two, right? So it's coming. He's doing well there. And it's like, wow, you know? He feels really, really good. But then his current situation, his misery completely catches up with him again. This restlessness, this uncertainty, this disappointment, you know, this bad conscience, feelings of guilt towards you. Maybe you were in a relationship once. He ended it all of a sudden, just like that, right? Or maybe he ghosted you. Suddenly, whoosh, he was gone again, you know? Maybe without a word, just withdrew. But that's his own insecurity. He doesn't know how to get out of this whole mess. And in the end, he knows he loves you. And then there's always this surge, these feelings. It's you, the relationship, the connection. But he really doesn't know how to go about it. Above all, it's also very much about his environment. Maybe his environment had something against you. You know, just this, they didn't want to share him, whether it was family or friends. This unwillingness to share, not wanting to let go, that has nothing to do with you as a person. It wouldn't have mattered which woman or man came along, you know? That's generally how it is, right? So as soon as your special someone has with a woman, we'll assume it's a man for now, but you know, you always adapt it for yourselves. He has contact with a woman, it's okay. But if there's a relationship, then no, right? Then none of them are good enough. Then every single one gets really slammed here. But it could also be that he's still entangled with a life partner. This is about the separation. Now we've reached a very important point. For him, it's like this. He actually knows what he needs to do. He just keeps withdrawing again and again. Then he jumps back onto his planet, his own planet. The chaos planet, the drama planet, the planet that actually keeps causing him all this pain, this restlessness. Nothing fits anymore, nothing works anymore. Nothing works at all here anymore. On the outside, maybe it looks okay. You show that everything is working. But you can see in him or her that something is seriously wrong. And that's exactly where he is in this process of change. We have the transformation, the new beginning, the new start emerging from this uncertainty. He still doesn't know. He hasn't really found the solution yet for how to handle all of this properly. And that's why he keeps withdrawing again and again. This, I'm moving slowly, not too fast here. I'm taking it slow here because he doesn't want to make any more mistakes. And he senses that you mean an incredible amount to him. We have this heart touching moment. His heart keeps getting touched again and again. And then, as I said, it could be that after you finished your phone call, or maybe after your meeting, no matter how, or after texting, the contact ends. So, and then boom, his reality comes back. He jumps back to the other planet because that's where the problems are. That's where the worries are. That's where the sorrow is. Nothing works anymore. And there, his mental state is also really badly affected. And that's where the decision comes in. How do I do it right? How do I get out of this whole situation? How can I change it? Because he really does want to change it. He just keeps getting stuck in this standstill because there's so much heaviness weighing on him or on her. This heaviness, this feeling where sometimes he doesn't even know what to believe in anymore. At times, he's really lost his faith, at least to some extent, because nothing works anymore. He knows everything he did wrong. He's aware of it, even if he keeps it a secret from you. He knows what went wrong here. I have that on the conscious level, and that's clear to him. And he judges himself for it, which I now also think is justified after this reading. What he didn't want to see himself, what he didn't see because he didn't want to, because he always rushed through life with blinders on and didn't want to perceive anything else. And now all of that has caught up with him. And that's why we always have this back and forth with you. Wow, absolutely amazing. And then, as I said, he jumps around again like another planet. But he's still involved. And then we get to the withdrawal phase where he pulls back again. It could be that he opens up a little bit again because I see him as very closed off. That's because I see him completely caught up in doubt, in despair, in deception. As I said, he knows what he has done and he knows what went wrong. He is definitely aware of that. I think it's fantastic here that he is aware of what went wrong, what he didn't want to see, and maybe also what he did wrong with the breakup. Very hasty, right? It didn't have to be that way. I see the change happening with him. The change, the warmth, that he actually wants security, closeness also with you. But as I said, things are moving slowly here. But we do have movement, which I find absolutely fantastic. And as I said, on the level of awareness, he knows what went wrong here. Now it just means he has to clean things up. He has to sort out a few things. We have authorities, government offices here. We see it again here, authorities and government offices. I see finances, which could also relate to work. So these are the kinds of issues that need to be resolved and are in the process of being resolved. A little bit. He also tends to push some things aside. But the big things he always pushed aside, his main issues that he didn't want to face, he doesn't push those away anymore because, as I said, he's aware of what went wrong. And a new beginning is being shown. It's just that he's still a bit unsure about how to handle it best, because now he doesn't want to do anything wrong anymore. And that also has to do with his environment, the falseness in his surroundings. As I said, this could also be about a relationship. If he is still in a relationship, then I see the separation. I see the end of that relationship. But it doesn't happen overnight. But it is part of this process. The process is being shown. If he was perhaps in a relationship that was kept secret from you, where you maybe didn't officially know anything, it also means that this experience, however difficult, was necessary. He or she needed it. He really needed these hard lessons. And that means he or she also has to process them. But he is also becoming aware of what he has done. Because even if, as hard as it may sound, even if he was in a relationship with another person, the whole thing actually has something really positive, because it makes him realize how much you mean to him. This appreciation, the love, this honesty, this sincerity, your care, your very being. And he becomes aware of that. And that's what I find so great here as well. And again, it's like, oh my God, what have I done? As I said, feelings of guilt, a bad conscience towards you, disappointed in himself. And he also knows that he has disappointed you. And that's where we have this back and forth. But the balance is coming back in here as well. And as I said, the change that's being shown, those are his entanglements. He is still caught up in these entanglements. And although there are a few detours here, yes, it is moving towards renewal, transformation, change, a new beginning, because I see healing as the main energy of your loved one. Healing is coming. The tide is turning. There's still a bit of a struggle here. And there's always this withdrawal, this up and down. But for the most part, as I said, he's moving toward change and a new beginning. And you are the main character in this. And you are also the most important person to him. And he's getting more and more into that. And it's not like I would say, phew, this is the end of the line. That's it. Nothing's going to happen anymore. No. It's definitely the case that he wants this new beginning with you, but differently. That is, the two of you are starting now, or when he gets back in touch with you, when you're in contact again, you'll begin to get to know each other anew, but on a different level. A new level for him, because he wants to give you what's real, the love, everything, completely. He wants to make you happy, not disappoint you anymore, not do anything wrong anymore. And that's why there's still a bit of a struggle here, but it's a positive change and a positive path that he or she is taking. And that's why there's always this withdrawal, always this, maybe sometimes it even comes across as a bit cold, tactless, but it has nothing to do with you in a negative way. On the contrary, it's absolutely positive because you touch his heart. And that's where the knot has been untied, so that now we can reach this heart connection. Yes, so we already have the moon. Yes, okay, Pitta, but the moon also reveals what his fears and worries are. And we also have the psyche coming up again. But he's becoming more and more sensitive when it comes to matters of the heart. And now these thoughts are coming to him. He's thinking about it more and more. He clearly feels the attraction to you, the love, and how important you are to him. You are his lucky star. Absolutely. Yes, so we have a powerful card here. Here, as I said, the emotions are also being revealed. That's when these emotions come to him. Of course, his fears are still there, fears, disappointment, worries, of course. And all of this is still lying dormant a little bit. But the moon also brings brightness with it. And yes, as I said, the feelings, the emotions, the attraction as a whole in the bigger picture show movement in your direction. So, regarding the question, you might be asking yourself whether he really wants to end all of this for good. No, right? He doesn't want that. He wants to end his past. He wants to get out of these entanglements. And now we have the anchor. With the anchor, he is also taking the time to deal with it because he knows the time is now. Even though it has been dormant for a long time now, the time has come. And here it leads to stability, to solidity. And it goes deeper and deeper. His thoughts, his feelings, the path he is taking, it is becoming more and more clear. And he is also freeing himself from this dependency. And he can't let go of you anymore. Wonderful. But the old is being replaced. His entanglements, here once again. But letting go of you, he can't do that, right? He couldn't do it yet either, because the bond between you two was still there. And this constancy, and now he is becoming aware of what is really going on. The old is coming to an end, and the new can begin. It also goes deeper, and he couldn't let go of it the whole time, of the old, always these entanglements and so on, all his old behavioral patterns, but now they are being put aside here. So from that perspective, it's wonderful. And it could also be that he really starts to move a bit more in your direction, maybe even clinging a little, you know. But it's about, we can now see the connection becoming more solid. It's going deeper and deeper, even if the movement is slow. We have movement, positive movement in your direction. And you decide whether you still want all of this, whether you say, okay, you'll give it another chance, right? Just lean back and relax here. He's the one struggling here, and you don't have to do anything at all. Just be yourself. And now I'm sending you all a big, big hug. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for watching, and I wish you all the very best. Goodbye.